Hey everyone, my name is Grace MacDonald. I am a third-year voice major at Memorial University, and today I was told that I had the opportunity that I could lead a Jane's Walk. So today I'm going to be showing one of my favorite places in the city of St. John's, and it is, I don't know if you can see it kind of around here, it's a big building. This is the St. John's Arts and Culture Center, which is actually near my school. Let's see if I can have it in the background. Just a little down that way. So I'm going to take you on a little tour, talk about the music, theater, arts community here in St. John's, kind of how they're being affected by the pandemic, and what we can all do to help out our fellow artists. So come along with me. This building has played a very important role in my life since about 2005 when I did my very first musical. Not only that, but I have done countless dance concerts in here. I've sat in the lobby for multiple auditions and callbacks for shows. I've watched the Newfoundland Symphony Orchestra play in the main hall, and of course have studied and borrowed books from the A.C. Hunter Library. And not only is this building a great place for all those things, but more importantly, it is a main hub for the theater community here in St. John's. And like this pandemic, a lot of random, unforeseen things happen, such as the rain, which kind of messed up my tour. But you know what? I'm back at home. We're all good. We're chill. And we're just going to have a chat and continue talking about my segue into the theater community here in St. John's. So the theater community here has changed a lot in the many years it's been around. It started off as educators, music teachers, school teachers, using the main stage like in the Arts and Culture Center, Holy Heart Theater, other places in the city, using them as hubs to kind of show off their students' talents, give them creative outlets, and allow them to kind of show off their skills that they've learned. And now the community has grown so much that it's gotten to the point where there are just so many companies, and actors have to be flown in out of province. Well, they don't have to be, but they come. They're paid to kind of show off their talents because they want to be part of Newfoundland's rich artistic identity, which is super cool. Some amazing companies, I'm just gonna kind of names to throw around because I'm all about supporting artists here. Some I've worked for, some I've seen their shows and that I admire, are companies like Peter MacDonald Productions, you've got Atlantic Light Productions, Best Kind Productions, Tada Events, the Performing Arts Group, Theatre St. John's, of course, Opera on the Avalon, so many groups. And if there's one thing that you need to know about the theater community here in St. John's is that we are a very resilient group of people. You kind of have to be. It's what you sign up for when you join this profession. I mean, it's one of the first things I learned in music school. It's going to be a roller coaster. There's going to be parts of your career that are uncertain, and that includes theater. And we know tough times pretty well. And what's great about people like artists and performers is that we have the ability to adapt. One example that I think of making the most out of difficult times was back in January when we thought that Snowmageddon was the worst thing that ever happened to us. I was in a lovely production called 9 to 5 with Atlantic Light Productions, and it was about a week or two before our opening night, and Snowmageddon happened, didn't ruin our week, but we missed a whole week's worth of rehearsals, time to set up in the theater, valuable time that we really could have used, and despite that, as soon as we were able, thanks to that lovely cast and crew and just putting in all the blood, sweat, and tears and time that we possibly could, we were able to pull off a show that we were very proud of and that audiences found was like an escape from, that horrible start to the year that we had with Snowmageddon. And we created something awesome. And now things are very different. I know that other companies aren't as lucky, and particular situation I'm thinking of right now, especially with some of the theatrical casualties of the pandemic. You have, Tada Productions. They were going to do a lovely show of La Cage aux Folles in the Arts and Culture Center, and they were only able to perform their opening night before having to shut down their show completely and postpone it, which is heartbreaking. So much money and time and commitment comes from these shows. A lot of it being volunteer. And it just breaks my heart to know that it just had to stop, because you just put so much into yourself, like of yourself, into these shows, and to just have it shut down is just horrible. And it's not just big scale shows like that. I have so many family and friends and fellow artists that I know in my life who are being affected by this pandemic, from folk singers who entertain us while we nurse a pint of beer at O'Reilly's, to music students who had their final recitals cut off, and people who lose a main source of income, if not all of their income. It is truly heartbreaking. And, you know, there was a really sad but interesting quote that I heard in a live stream done recently from Theater St. John's Keith Pike that I'll share. He said, when it comes to this pandemic, artists were the first to be affected. And when this is all over, they may be the last of us that will kind of get that sense of normalcy again, since it involves big groups of people, you know? So, what can we do to help artists during this pandemic? There are two things, one easy, one not so easy. The first thing you can do is help artists digitally and remotely, obviously. So if artists are anything, they are very resourceful. I have so many friends who have been posting mini concerts on Facebook for live streams, on Instagram. They do like little Zoom concerts, readings, all kinds of different stuff. Help people there. They usually will attach a GoFundMe where you can support local artists in town, or help food banks, women's shelters, all kinds of different charities. Start there. This is particularly important. You're going to want to spread the word about different artists around town, network, make sure people know about them and know that like they can be the first kind of source of entertainment you can come back to when things go back to normal. Which brings us to number 2, which is when things do go back to normal, God knows when that'll be, but support local talent. God knows we watch way too much Netflix during this pandemic, and nothing beats the magic of live theater, of live music, live entertainment. Go support local. So I hope you enjoyed our little chat. I hope you give some thought to what I said. And at the request of a very special person in my life, I'm going to share a quick little bit of a song with you, just so you guys can get to know me as an artist as well. So I'm going to be singing a song from the show that I was just in January. It's called I Just Might, and I think it's very relevant to the times we're in right now. So I hope you enjoy a little sneak peek of it. What to do and where to start. Things are falling all apart. Trying hard to move ahead, but keep losing ground instead. Still I have to take a chance, putting fear and doubt aside. Had no warning in advance, nothing left to do but try. And I just might make it work. I just might make it after all. Just might rise above the herd, though I suffered quite a fall. But I have to get a grip and hold on to it like a vice. Ooh, have to face the fallen chips. I just might make it. I just might. I just might make it. I just might. Thank you all for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay safe, wash your hands, and support local theater and the arts.